All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at FanCon, and sitting next to me is the innovator of the Black Forest Slam, Mr. Mecha Mercenary. How are you, Mecha?
I'm pretty good. I wouldn't call myself the innovator.
Well, I mean,
I definitely stole it from Abyss and Big Boss Man.
Well, it's never been called the Black Forest Slam.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
We invented the name.
How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Tired?
I'm always tired.
Dude. 2 a.m. and then waking back up at 7 to do this. It's crazy.
2 a.m.
Did you sleep at all? Or?
Yeah, we got a few hours sleep last night. We hung out, watched some old wrestling, and just hung out at our buddy's house for a few hours, and then passed out.
Talk a little bit about your forte into the business, because you're the one guy that I wanted to interview on the after show, but I haven't reached out to yet. Well, one of the guys, I should say. Talk about your getting into the business. How did that come about? You know, the usual shoot interview question.
Yeah, I was a fan growing up, and I got into the business late. I was 25 when I started here at CWF. I'd kind of bounced around a little bit in little outlaw promotions, just kind of didn't really know how to get my foot in the door. And,
right.
Unfortunately, I got some bad intel from a friend of mine who did train here for a while, and he was like, don't train there because it's... I don't remember specifically what he said, but he was my friend at the time, and I trusted him, and he just kind of put it in my head that, like, that's not the place to go train.
I'm guessing, what is it? All they do is stretch you.
I honestly don't remember. It was so long ago.
Wow.
It was almost 10 years ago, so I really don't remember what it was said. So we kind of bounced around to different places, and we lost some money, and we met guys who were, me and my brother and my friends were just kind of like, none of this feels right, you know? Like, so we got like bits of training, like we learned how to bump, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
And then eventually, me and my brother, they did a Paul London and Brian Kendrick seminar at this building.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not at this building, but for CWF.
They're booing the heels in the background, by the way.
Yeah. So
the heels panel is on, so.
We've been around CWF coming to shows and just kind of mingling with people, so people knew who me and my brother were. So we came to the seminar, and they were okay with it that we weren't training. And then the next day, we were at another show, and I talked to the trainer, the head trainer here at CWF. I'm like,
who was that at the time?
Coach Gemini.
Okay.
Coach
Still
Gemini.
is, right?
He's involved.
Okay.
So I pulled Coach aside, and I'm like, hey man, I formally introduced myself, and I was like, I was at the seminar last night, remember? And he remembered me, and I'm ready to get serious. I saw that you guys, you know, this is a serious promotion. This is a serious thing of doing it, and all that bad intel I got is clearly wrong. So I'm going to come to CWF. And on my 25th birthday was my first training session here at CWF. And yeah, it's been great ever since. Just
talk a little bit about, were you under a mask when you first started?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I have worked one match without my mask. We were in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere for some
they're hitting music now.
For some free show. And we were just trying something different.
This man knows how to interview because he raised his voice when the music hit. Thank you.
I try.
So, I mean, talk a little bit. Is this your first mask? Is the Mecha Mercenary has that been your gimmick all along?
Yes. This is not my first mask. This is mask 5, I think. Mm-hmm. The very first mask I wore for like 2 months because it was not a custom fit.
Right.
Before my very first match came as a surprise because I was coming to Project X shows, which is the original incarnation of RGL shows. Yeah. Just hanging out and like, okay, it's getting time to be. You're gonna have your first match soon. It was in like September. They were planning to debut me in the Rumble in October. Showed up to a Project X, and they're like, Lewis Moore broke his arm. You need to go find, and my mask hadn't come in. Mm-hmm. So my gear I was not ready to wrestle.
Right.
It's like, Lewis Moore broke his arm. You need to go find a mask that fits because you're taking his place in the 6-man tag tonight. Oh, okay. So I went over to the high spots table and I found a mask that fit the best. It didn't really look anything like this. It was very different. Open eyes, real shiny, very lucha looking. But it fit, so I wore it for the first 2 months until the new one, the custom one, came in right on time for the Rumble.
Talk about the Mecha Mercenary character, how the name came about, the look came about.
the idea came from Coach Gemini, because he excuse me, he wanted me to be a heel initially, but he's like, but you're too good looking. You got too much of a baby face. People aren't gonna boo. Yeah, people aren't gonna boo you, because it's okay if you say so. So they put a mask on me, and he had the idea. We had these before the number men. We had Canadian mercenaries. Was our
amazing.
Right? They wore fatigues, and they wore Canadian flag hats or masks.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And yeah, they were our They were for our trainees to get time, to get ring experience, kind of like we do with the number men sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the Canadian mercenaries. Like, everyone's going to know who you are. Most of the times, Canadian mercenaries were guys. They eventually grew out of being a mercenary. You know, they're going to know who you are. You can't be a Canadian and then come back as so and so. They're all going to know who you are. So he had this idea.
I can't imagine you coming out and going
yeah
after every word. I can't imagine you cutting a promo like that.
So Jeff's a big monster movie fan. So Mecha Godzilla.
There you go.
He's like, you remind me of Godzilla, big monstrous type guy, Mecha Godzilla, and he had seen this robot design in the past. He's like, he always wanted to do something with it, and he gave it to me, and we played with the design for my mask, and that's where it came from. And then the initial run of Mecha Mercenary was very Godzilla-ish, just a big monster. Say what? Huh? Oh God, no! Jesus! Oh, good Lord.
The panel's taking over now.
Oh, man. Lee Valiant's in the background telling a great...
Drunk mecha story?
No. There's no drunk mecha stories. I don't drink. It's a drunk somebody else story that I was babysitting. No, I can't tell the story.
No,
I'm not going to.
Okay.
Because listen, Lee Valiant's telling the story. There's a way to listen to it there, isn't it?
Well, no, I'm not recording any of the panels. And my opinion was, if people want to hear those panels, they need to be here.
Okay. Well, then you should have been here to hear this. Drunken Lee Valiant.
They got to hear
last
night's panel.
Yeah. So. See, today was a good. Should have been here.
So they gave you the mecha gimmick. Is that when the Godzilla sound was heard under the ring? Because I think I was here for that when when McAllister was teaming up with everything all right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good.
I didn't know if the microphone cable came out or whatever.
No.
The McAllister was teaming up with Sharp, and they were trying to find him.
Yes.
And at first I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think I was here for your debut. I was here for the bit where after the match where they had teamed up, they dimmed the lights, they played the Godzilla sound from under the ring.
Yeah, okay.
I believe they even blew smoke, and he's selling it. McAllister sold it so well, going absolute ape shit with Sis, going, he's here. Right. And then I thought that was the introduction to him, but then I found out it was the introduction to you. Talk a little bit about teaming with McAllister and Sis and how that came about.
Okay, that's
Sis,
quite a history.
Sis, I know, has kind of been a bad word around here as of late, but you don't need to get into that.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You don't need to get into kayfabe.
So,
but we could still talk about her because she's an important part of your history and McAllister's history.
Right, because she definitely plays a vital part. McAllister and I, we are great friends. He's like my best friend outside the ring. He was like one of my best friends before we started teaming up. And the idea came around like, look, let's put you and McAllister together. Great, love it. We ran for a few months. We'd won the tag belts, and Sis had been around, but we never really had a spot for her. Mm-hmm. And so they decided to put her with us and Corey Edsel and create the Dangerous Alliance, and that was going to be another heel faction, another group we could. You know, I love Corey too. Corey's one of my mentors, so I was all in to work with him every week.
I'll be honest, for folks who did not come to FanCon and heard last night, I never knew he got signed with WWE.
Corey Edsel is one of those guys who's the best that nobody knows about.
Yeah,
he's especially when he was over 500 pounds at one point doing moonsaults. He's since lost a ton of weight, and he's still a great athlete. I wish he would come back. I don't know if he can physically come back in the ring, but I just wish he would come back for the knowledge because he's so smart, he's so good, and he's a good friend of mine. So
the deal with the McAllister, talk about teaming up with him, memories of teaming up with him, because you guys, were pretty damn over there for a while.
We were. We were doing really well. We were having good and fun matches with the Killbillies, with Nick and Miller. We never got to work with Trevor and Chet, which was an idea passed around that we really wanted. I got hurt pretty much right in the middle of our run. We'd been together about a year, and I hurt my shoulder multiple times. And well, surgery.
Jeez.
So I missed all of 2015 due to injury. And the idea that you're talking about to bring back when McAllister was looking for him was supposed to be me. That was going to be the big reveal. I was going to come back, and me and him were going to run rampant. That did not work out because in my absence, Sis and McAllister developed well as a team, and they became closer.
So I was right, because I believe they played the Godzilla the Godzilla roar under the ring, and it was he's here. That's when he was looking for him.
Yes,
and then him ended up being him under that.
Yes, he
mask.
was always supposed to be looking for me. And then, but they got closer and closer, Mike McAllister and Sis, that it got to a point where I could tell she was going to be a problem when I came back. She did not want to be part 3 of a trios. She wanted to be.
She
in
had
the
become
team.
the second wheel and didn't want to go back to being the third wheel.
Correct.
And she was really good at it too. That's when, despite everything that's been going on around here, kayfabe, kayfabe.
Yeah.
I like her work.
She's okay.
And I mean, I've interviewed her, and we'll get into the mask a little bit more in a minute, but it's one of the greatest interviews I've ever done here on the YouTube channel. And to find out that she's been working since she was 13 years old was boggling. But you're right. I think it would have hurt you, and it would have hurt her. And it's a good idea so when they decide that's not going to happen, is that when you got teamed up with Biggs? Because Biggs was kind of floundering.
They did not decide that. I decided
you
that.
Did, really?
I could see the writing on the wall. This is going to be a problem. This is not going to go well for McAllister and I. And they want us to be the team, and she's going to interfere. And it's going to be, I did not want that headache.
Right.
And I basically was like, Mike, who's it going to be?
Me or her?
I think it's, and I really didn't ask him that. I didn't want to put him on the spot. I just like, Mike, I think it's going to be her if I ask you this question. So I backed out.
So this is interesting to me now. I got to get into this because it's like, are you thinking this is what Stutzy's going to do as a booker? Or is this what the office wants? Or is this what the audience is going to think?
No, I made this call by myself.
Really?
I was not worried about story. I was not worried about. I threw the booking plans. I threw a monkey wrench into that because I was like, this is not going to go well. I said, the 3 of us won't work. And I have a feeling he'll choose her one day. So I said, we have to stop. We need to think of something else. And it's like, no one knew what else. So as far your question of how do we get to Biggs, when I returned and gave McAllister, we did an in-ring segment where I basically gave him the ultimatum. We did that backstage also, basically, me and him. Like that's the thing about this story. This is all 100% true.
Not to get too personal, but you said that's your best friend.
Yeah.
How did that go over with him?
Not well. There was a little
tension there.
He was sad. But we've worked it out.
In his mind, he's like, "Come on back with us. It's going to be a great thing. The 3 of us are going to run wild."
Correct.
Wow.
And I knew it was not going to be because he was closer to her than I was, and she made some decisions for the team without consulting anybody.
Do I dare ask?
I mean, it's not big decisions as far as like gear and music, that kind of stuff.
Right,
she was just She was trying to spearhead this thing.
I don't mean to dig a hole and dig dirt and get you to bury anybody, but I'm a podcaster. It's my job to ask this stuff.
It's 100% true. So I don't feel like it's burying anybody because she was trying to spearhead this thing, and I felt like she was trying to take.
And when I get McAllister in the chair, I'll ask him about it.
She was trying to take my partner away. I felt like so, and I wasn't having that.
He's mine, not yours, kind of thing.
Pretty much, like we were the team. She's my placeholder, and she didn't feel like that. And I kind of get it because she was doing a good enough job, but I knew she was not going to. She doesn't want to go back to being a manager. She don't want to go back to being 3rd of a trios.
Yeah.
So.
And she was getting in ring time, and she was getting better and better and better. And the fans were. She was pretty fucking over in this building for a while. You know. She
was getting a lot of ego too, which I don't like. I don't like ego. in this business, if you have an ego, get out.
If you have an Indigo and an indie promotion, no less.
Agreed.
It's not WWE, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about the pairing. Go ahead and go into the pairing with Biggs.
So I got to get to Biggs. I made my re-debut after my coming back from shoulder injury. It's kind of in no man's land because the office was like, we'd planned you and McAllister to be his heel team and run rampant. So
now the office is getting into it where you say you threw the booking out the window. Now you have to tell the
literally,
office this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, and we had that discussion, but he was just like, what do we do? Stop it. No. Get away from me. No.
Stutzy is coming up here with some green drink.
No, I don't drink green drink. I don't drink green drink or eat candy anymore.
What is in the green drink?
I don't want to know. Nothing I want a part of. So anyway,
when you got a bunch of workers together, Lord knows what's in that bottle.
Exactly.
I've heard stories.
So I don't drink from it. So I was in kind of no man's land at the beginning of 2016. Like, I was myself, but I didn't really have an identity. I didn't really have a direction. I feuded a little Fun Monsters feud with Murray. Or excuse me, Otto. Otto Schwanz.
Otto Schwanz.
Yeah. But Biggs has always been around. I was there to help Biggs when he broke in. We had a good feud. He's one of the best big men out there. And Nova Pro had the idea of they wanted to do me and Biggs as a team,
right?
Just to kind of
test the waters.
Yeah. They wanted the Haas division, which is big guys, 300-pound-esque brawler, big dudes beating the shit out of each other.
The Vince McMahon division.
Yeah, we didn't have to look jacked up, but just giant guys. The Haas division, and so he wanted me and Biggs to team up and wrestle. Who do we wrestle? We wrestled Jeff Cannonball before he lost all his weight, and Dan O'Hare, and we had a great match and we killed it. We did the sandwich thing. That was kind of the birth of that. And on the way back, I rode up with Brad, and we were driving back, and he's like, "Man, you and Biggs really clicked out there." I was like, "Yeah, we did. Something felt good." It's like, "I think I'm going to stick with y'all down here." I was like, "Good." Because now we have direction. Because Biggs had just lost Chris Lee, too. Chris Lee had to step away from the business to focus on one of his 9 million other jobs, which I love Chris Lee.
I miss Chris Lee.
I do too. He was a good asset here, but he had to focus on his family and his other careers, which is fine. So Biggs was kind of in no man's land too. So we got these two 400-pounders, and we got a cool story to tell, and it works. And yeah, me and him click. We both were able to learn from each other. And
talk about the Sandwich Squad, like the actual, how that name came to be. Obviously, the merchandise last year was based off Suicide Squad, which is freaking brilliant.
Right.
My stepson has one of those shirts.
Well, good.
And it's awesome. He wears it to school. He said people come up to school, and this is all the way up in Danville, Virginia, 45 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
People are coming up to him going, what the fuck is a Sandwich Squad? So he has to explain what it is. How did the name come about? The gimmick, the eat? Was that you? Was that
it was
Stutzy?
100% organic.
Really?
Yes. Very natural. That first time we teamed, that match I was just talking about with O'Hare and Cannonball, to build the Haas division. After the match, we all shook hands. And, yeah, great match, whatever. I don't know whose idea it was in the Nova Pro office. I've heard it was Mike King, and I've heard it was Stutzy. But after the match, while the concessions up at Nova Pro is handmade.
Really?
They make their own meatballs, and then they bring their old pulled pork and sell it.
I got to go up there one time.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's about 6 hours away from me, but I got to make my way up there now that you said that.
It's good stuff. So to put over the merch table or the concession table on these sandwiches, after the match, the concession girls each brought us a plate of sandwiches, and we didn't know any of this. We had no clue that this was happening. We just thought we were there to do the match and have fun.
Bring the fat guy a sandwich.
Exactly. And I get ridiculous especially when I'm away from home, and I can be myself. I can try new things.
Yeah.
I can just, I can relax a lot more. And oh my God, they brought us those sandwiches, and I've never been happier. It was like a kid on Christmas. I've never had a Christmas present make me as happy as I was when I got that meatball sandwich.
And you're just done working, and you're hungry.
And I was just like, oh my God, I sold it. Like I knew what they were doing.
There you go.
They want to put over the concession, so I took a lap with the sandwich to show everybody, like, this is homemade greatness, and go buy what. You know, like, I just put it over. Great. And on that car ride back, we're like, man, are we gonna get sandwiches every time we should get a sandwich?
Fucking
like,
free food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we won the match too. It's like, my God, we should get a sandwich every time we win.
It's the trophy.
So what?
That's the trophy.
That's our trophy. Yeah, like, man, we shouldn't work for money. We should work for sandwiches, because we really are.
Working for peanuts.
Yes.
You're an
So
idiot.
like,
Why
man,
not? You know.
Man, next time if we go over, we're getting make sure they bring us a damn sandwich. Next time at Nova, it happened, and sure shit, they brought a sandwich. We got it. I ran my lap, and we sold it, and oh my God, the crowd went apeshit.
Does the concession stands see their sales rise?
I have no idea.
Really?
I don't.
I'd be wanting to know, because here I am putting over the product.
Probably, it's not my. I don't handle any of that.
See, that's why I could never. That's why I could never be in the business, because I'd be wondering, hey, we're sitting here, Ron Popeeling your product. Is it working?
Yeah, I'm sure. But you know what? It was working for us.
It's working for you.
That's
so,
all I really cared about. I'm sure the concessions were up, hopefully, but I really cared about, because now it's like, oh my God, we've stumbled onto something. The crowd is into this. This is fun. This is different. We need to. Biggs, we need to figure this out.
So,
we need to find an identity around this now.
Yeah, it's weird to me how it starts up in Nova Pro and not down here.
Right, because we really don't we've never really done a whole lot of sandwich stuff down
The
here.
Cronulla Cup is the first time I've ever seen it.
That's the first time we've ever done it. That's why the Cronulla Cup was so special to me, because we did it for the first time.
Because here comes Don and Rocky,
Right.
the sandwiches at you.
It's the first time we've ever done that in this building, and it was a very special moment for me, because the fans, I guess they watch worldwide, or I guess we did a good enough job putting it over the food gimmick and the eating and the sandwiches that they just got it. Because we never showed up with sandwiches, and they never presented us with sandwiches after a win. We just talked about it from the apron.
Yeah, you talked about, I think one day you talked about going to the Waffle House. I
Yeah.
think it was, shit like
Something
that.
like that.
And like, they put it over on commentary.
Yeah.
But it's not like you would have to, and then this is what's so great about you guys having CWF having worldwide, is that there's certain things that you must watch worldwide for.
Yeah.
Now,
It helps.
you never know that your finishing move was called the hero sandwich if it wasn't for them.
Agreed.
You wouldn't know it's the flatbread elbow, the Black Forest slam.
Yeah.
That whole gimmick kind of rests on commentary a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
You know?
It's very word of mouth. Social media helps, because I try now to put over my stuff as much as possible and other people's stuff, and promote where I'm working, where you can see me, and just funny stuff. You know,
You
like
kinda
what's
have
that?
to nowadays.
Yes, it's such a vital part of staying over and getting work and getting merch sales up. You have to have a good social media presence. And before all this, I had zero. I used social media as a joke, as a way to vent. But
Now
now
it's a business
job.
tool.
Yeah, now it's a job. Now I have to watch what I say on my Twitter account. Not that I said too much bad stuff before, but now it's like I can't go on this long vent about something.
I've noticed that you rarely do tweet, but when you do tweet, it's come see us.
Yes.
You use it
I
strictly as a
rarely-
business tool.
most of the times I do a lot of retweeting.
Yeah.
Because that's so easy to do.
It
I
is
don't
one
know why
button.
people don't just retweet constantly. Because it's the simplest thing to do. And yeah, I try to be funny. I try to interact. And yes, I definitely want to put where I'm at. But this month, you can see me here at the Rumble. You can see me at Nova Pro. You can see me at this comic book shop. You can see me wherever I'm going to be. Whether it's me and Biggs or just me, you know.
Nick Richards is in front of our table
Nick
with
Richards.
a beard.
Drinking and touching himself in front of this
Touching
laptop.
himself and-
Touching myself sounds way worse than a dick grabbing. Want to put that in?
Well,
Oh, God, please
okay,
don't-
fine.
please
He's
don't go
grabbing
Joey
his
Ryan
dick.
on us.
Speaking of dick grabbing, Mitch Connor is here.
Mitch Connor. So, talk a little bit about the mask.
The mask?
The mask itself.
Okay.
Because when, not to bring her up again, but when I asked Sis about her mask, she mentioned how the mask is her baby, and she
Yeah.
will never lose it, and she will work. If anybody ever asked her to take the mask off, she'd kill it right there.
Yeah.
Are you the same way?
I had been approached. There was an idea several years ago about me taking the hood off and doing something different, and I was. It's a little bit of a security blanket for me, which is good. And at the time, I was not ready to give it up. A, because I was insecure, and B, I was like, we haven't done enough. Like
Right,
we can do more with the mecha character.
You haven't Kane went, what, 12 years? Wait, let me see. 2000,
about 7 years.
2007, and then when did he dump it? 04? 05?
97 to 03 or 04,
03.
something
It was 03.
like that.
So
About 7 years.
6-7 years. I mean, you haven't gone that far with it. There's so much
Right.
more story to tell.
I agree. And part of it too, man, there's not many mask guys in wrestling anymore.
No, there is. The Lucha Underground and everything else has come up.
But
not in the Mid-Atlantic.
Definitely not around
And
here.
it's to me, it seemed when you see the mask guy, and this is one of the things I have to put you over for. The mask guy was just, there's the guy in the mask.
Yeah.
He's not going to talk. He's not going to show us emotion. He's not going to show us any character. He's just going to flippity-flew, and that's going to be it.
Yeah. It
You're
can be.
way different to see a big guy in a mask like that. It's
very Vader influence.
Yeah.
I love Vader. My biggest influences since I got in the business.
I can see that.
Vader, gang, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a combination of Abyss and One Man Gang. That's and I got compared to One Man Gang by Tommy Dreamer this summer, and
You're
it was
built
just
like
like
him.
yeah.
You're built like him, man.
I love Gang. I've got to hang out with him last year at WrestleCade for a little
Nice.
bit, and he's just I love him to death. But yeah, there's not a lot of masks, especially in this territory. So it's like it keeps me different. It keeps me,
It's you and the number man.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all I can
pretty
think
much.
of.
Yeah, there's a few other guys, but nobody, no one's coming to mind. You know what I
Nobody's
mean?
a regular here anymore.
That's true. So that's why I keep it. And yeah, like you said, Sis was talking about, it's her baby. It's my face. I'm a big Watchmen fan.
There you go.
I was rereading The Watchmen this summer, and I was like, holy crap, I love Rorschach. He's my favorite.
Yes.
He's like my favorite character in the history of characters. It's like I need to feel of it like that. It's my face, and I'm wearing it right now. And you even told me before, you don't have to wear it. It's like, yeah, I kind of want to. I feel more comfortable.
Well, here's the thing. I can't imagine you. It's crazy to me to see you last night with it on.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to see Ethan Alexander Sharp in full gimmick walking around here. It's another thing to sit there and go, there's somebody that still respects the art of wearing a mask.
Yeah.
There is an art form to it.
Yeah, there is.
In that, so many people in the late 90s, you look at Ray taking his off. I hated it.
I did too. I know he did too. So.
And it's just like when they bring it back, I think I don't know if you saw, they did even in WWE when Kalisto, or was it Kalisto? Yeah, he won the Cruiserweight title. And they're backstage interview him, and you see the back of his head.
Yeah.
And he's thanking Eddie and all this because it was Eddie's birthday. And he puts that mask back on before he's interviewed.
Yeah.
And I was like, he gets it.
Yep.
They get it with him,
Yeah, it's a very different thing in Lucha Libre. I don't have any Lucha Libre ties. I don't have any heritage to it.
Well, I mean, but what
I'm just saying, I understand
the attachment.
Right. To them, it's very special. Even
It's a
more
religion
than I can.
almost.
Yes, it is
it's
a
wrestling religion.
Yeah. To me, I kind of take a little bit of it. I understand it, but never to that extent. And I definitely protect it. I protect my face. I protect my gimmick, my enterprise, my brand.
business.
There you go, my brand. I try it. If someone sees me without it, then I'm just a regular guy. You know what I mean? There's no mystique. Because if nothing else, you can always look at a guy with a mask and be like, I wonder what he looks like. That was like we were talking about Kane earlier.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing. Like, man, the story is he got burned. What the hell does he really look like? And
then when it took it off, it was.
Yeah, but still, I remember that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. He started taking it off. I was like, holy crap, this is. I was up and down like. We finally get to see it. The last piece of the puzzle of Kane. Like that's the one thing we can always hide from somebody.
That character had to evolve at that point.
It did. And he did well. I love Kane. Kane's one of my absolute
He's very
favorites.
underrated. I hope
Yes.
honestly, politically wise, he's a libertarian, so I hope he wins.
Yeah.
Because we need, not to get political, we need more than just two parties in
Agreed.
this world. But you said you mentioned you're a comic book fan. I wore a Ninja Turtles T-shirt one day with my son,
Yeah.
and you commented on it and marked out for it a little bit. That was great because it was the old school design.
Yeah, I love it.
You mentioned Watchmen. We cover movies, we cover TV, we cover comics.
Oh, nice.
I'm a big nerd.
Me too.
So what else is it besides Watchmen? Do you watch any like the CW shows like Arrow, Flash, all that?
I don't actually watch them.
Really?
I'm big on. If I miss something, it's hard for me to catch back up until the end.
Here's the thing with Walking Dead. I
love Walking Dead.
I hated Walking Dead for the longest time because
Yeah?
it's like another freaking zombie thing.
Yeah.
They ruined zombies for me.
Really?
And then one day I watched Daredevil on Netflix.
Yeah.
And John Barenthal was
Yeah.
the Punisher. And I fell in love with John Barenthal. And then I was like, holy shit, John Barenthal's in the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead. So you mentioned not being able to binge watch. I locked myself in my bedroom pretty much for over the course of a weekend and caught up on 6 seasons.
Well, no. What I meant was I love binge watching. That's what I do. What I mean is, if the premiere of Gifted was a few weeks ago and I missed it, but I recorded it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
God
get to,
bless DVRs.
Exactly. God, thank God for DVR. Or something more recently. I missed The Sopranos when it came on. You know, however many years ago. I wanted to. Oh, okay. This show looks great, and I missed it. No DVR back then. I didn't record it. I missed it. Crap. I'll catch the replay this week on HBO, and I missed it. And now I've missed 2 episodes. Now I've missed 3 episodes. It's easier for me to just be like, I'm gonna wait till the season ends, or in some cases the series ends,
Right.
and then I'll just binge watch on my own time.
I think that's how I am with Game of Thrones because I've tried
I've not watched Game of Thrones.
I've tried so many times to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I get halfway into the 2nd season, and the problem with that is for me is that it's too much to keep up with.
Yeah.
Walking Dead's getting the same way, and I hope to God that they don't.
I read the Walking Dead comics. The Walking Dead show actually kind of spearheaded me into the world of comic books.
Me too.
Because I was a nerd. I love comic-esque type stuff, the TV shows, the movies, but I was never like a comic book guy. I never went and bought comics.
Same
Never
way.
really read comics. And then the Walking Dead show happened, and I fell in love with the show. And my friend Corey Etzel and his wife were like, dude, these comics are awesome. You got to read them. They let me borrow. I'm like, holy crap, I fell in love with comics. I fell in love with graphic novels. I'm like, there's more stuff out like this? And I was intrigued by what else is based on a comic book. And like, holy crap, I love this and it's based on a comic. And I love this and it's based on a comic. Maybe I should start reading comics. And now I bought a few, and now my collection is
Nice.
out this world. I just constantly am buying. I'm so far behind on stuff.
You're buying stuff that'll sit in a sleeve and never be read.
Yeah,
because it's so much.
I usually just buy. I don't buy the individuals. I buy
the
collections.
collections, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
The compendiums. I think is what
I
they're
like
called.
those a lot better because I can sit and read for
Especially
an hour.
when they're hardcover.
I'm
Some
not
of
a
them
fan
are
of the hardcover.
Really?
I like the soft cover, honestly.
I like a hardcover book, and I like the fact that some of them, those collections now, I
Yeah.
think they're starting to reprint them in color,
Yes, some of them are.
which is beautiful. And I know people are listening to this going, "It's a wrestling show." Shut up.
Oh, we can get back to wrestling, but oh man, sorry. This is wrestlers are nerds, man. This is what we do.
The thing with Walking Dead is that Robert Kirkman says that Walking Dead, the TV show, is basically what he would do if he had to write the comic book over again.
Yeah.
Daryl's not in the comic.
No, he's not.
Rick has both arms in the show, but not in the comic.
Correct. Sorry for the spoilers.
Spoiler alert here. Are you caught up on the comics? Are you past the Whisperer War?
Yes, I got to the altercation with the Whisperer and Negan. That's the last.
Okay.
That's the last
Okay.
panel I saw, and it blew my mind. And I'm out of books.
When I don't want to get into spoilers if I haven't spoiled it. Negan kills somebody
Yeah, and it's a cool moment. Like that panel was really cool.
when he killed her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I need more, and then I realized I'm out of books. I need to get the new ones. That was like
Well,
a year ago.
I'll just say that something happens. You know, the main thing about the TV show that I could never get behind, and that a lot of people can't get behind, is that they keep moving from place to place to place to place to place.
Yeah,
And it's like that in the comics, even
exactly
more
like,
so.
You're right. Yeah,
It's twice as much almost.
yeah.
I'm glad. I hate to keep bringing this up because it's a wrestling show, but now you got me wanting to talk Walking Dead. The bottle episodes really hurt that show, doesn't it?
They don't hurt them.
It drove a lot of fans away last
Some
season.
of them are okay. Some of them are interesting, like the one with Carol and Tyrese, the flowers.
Yeah.
That episode was
That
awesome.
was, look at the flowers. That was epic.
The bottle episode where Daryl was a prisoner last year.
Oh, man.
I love that one. Some of them are really good, and some of them are just like, meh.
That fucking song.
Yeah.
Easy
God,
Street,
I love that
over and
song.
over and over.
God, now I'm gonna be singing Easy Street all day now.
I turned that on in the car after the episode and just repeated it. And my girlfriend's like, "Stop it, stop it." Let's get into a little bit more wrestling here.
Can do.
You're one of the spearheaders around here for merchandise.
Am I?
I think so. You're here every fucking show with that damn table right over there, plugging away at it.
I try to.
Is it you that comes up with the ideas for merch? How much do you consult with Biggs in it?
I consult with Biggs. I designed the two shirts we currently have, the Sandwich Guy and the current Sandwich Squad one. I designed the stickers, and I put in motion us obtaining all these things to sell. Biggs has his own shirts, his Rampaging Beast shirts. He's got a guy who's currently working on a new design for a shirt.
There you go.
I've got a new I got a new Sandwich Squad shirt that was supposed to be here this week, but I read the date wrong. It'll actually be here on Tuesday. I know, I was so mad. But I finally broke down, and we got 8x10s available.
There you go.
And I have Michael McAllister's brother, who works on our crew here.
Yeah.
He's
an artist. Designing masks and stuff.
He's an artist, yes, and he designs masks.
Did he design yours?
The original?
Or this one, the one you have on now?
No. He didn't design this, but he recreated my mask in latex, like a Halloween mask.
Nice.
So he handmade these for me so that I can sell them to you guys, so you can go around looking like me for Halloween.
Nobody can look like you, man.
Well,
you're the originator.
You can try.
But I find one of my things my son talks about is how we came to a couple shows like back to back. He's like, it's the same guys out here every time. And that clicked with me. I was like, it's a fucking good thing.
Yeah.
More wrestlers here. Like Nick Richards was asked, why doesn't he have merch? He would make a freaking killing.
Yeah.
More people should be out here during intermission.
I
So
agree.
kudos to you guys.
Thank you. It costs money to get merch,
Yes,
so I
you got to
understand.
spend money to make money.
Exactly. I've spent some money to it took a while for us to finally, oh my God, we broke even. Everything's finally it took a while to get to that point, and now that I've bought masks to be made, and now I bought new shirts, and I bought 8x10s, so now we're back in the hole. We got to build back up. So that's definitely a process of, sometimes you got to pay bills. You got to pay.
Are y'all on Pro Wrestling Tees? Is that a goal?
No, I don't know a lot about that.
Okay, let me.
I would love for someone to make shirts for us. That would be great.
The way I hear it is that you got to have a certain amount of followers on Twitter / Instagram / Facebook. I think it's like 10,000 combined.
Oh wow! Yeah, we don't have that.
Or you could pay them $75 as a startup fee, and they'll start up your store.
Oof.
But
Yeah.
and that's been a goal of mine. Like a lot of podcasters have their stuff up there. A lot of wrestlers have their stuff up there. But I feel like you almost get lost in that type of market.
I agree, because a lot of people do it. I don't know nearly enough about it to get. I haven't researched it enough. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know. Like you were just talking about the followers thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was part of it. I thought I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's why
clue.
I'm not up there, and that's a goal for mine is to get up there. But now that I think about it, now I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm sitting there going, it's kind of like the podcasting market itself. It's so flooded over there.
Right. Yeah, I would rather somebody just DM me on Twitter and be like, "Hey,
can I get a shirt?
I live in Iowa,
How much
but I
to
really
ship?
like your shirt. What can I do? How can I obtain this?" And I just give them a PayPal and tell them how much, and then give me an address, and I'll ship it to you.
What's the farthest you ever had to ship merch?
I've never shipped any merch.
Really?
I've never had
It's
anybody
all
even.
here?
Yes, it's all here.
And Nova?
And Nova Pro, and that's probably it as far as people buying. I always have my box of stuff with me.
Box of gimmicks.
Yeah, my box of gimmicks. I always have it with me. Sometimes I don't bring it out because I just know, like, no one's
Dead
gonna
night.
buy. It's a pain.
You're not going to bring it out at an RGL show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring it out on an RGL show. Like
Tonight you'll have that sumbitch out
Oh
there.
yeah, so definitely have it out tonight. Like Chapel Hill, I'm like, no one's gonna buy stuff. Everyone's just here for Snooty. So no one's gonna.
Snooty's, and I don't even think Snooty sells stuff.
Exactly. So it's like there's no one has a chance.
You're holding it in a rec center for crying out loud. These are people that don't have a lot of money that barely could afford to get to the show.
Yeah.
And and that's another kudo to you. You know the market.
It's just laziness too.
Do I want to set up a freaking table?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Do I want to stand here
Exactly.
with people gawking at me,
That's
not
the
buying
thing.
anything?
Yep, that's a big thing. Just standing out there sometimes is like, ugh. But I love talking to people.
I'm a big dude with bad knees. I
Yeah.
hate standing for long periods of time.
I don't mind it. That's since I came back and they turned me babyface. That's actually been one of the cooler parts because
You're so good with kids.
I love kids. Like I have a 4-year-old myself, so I was the oldest in my family, so I was the older brother, the older cousin, so I grew up with kids, so I love hanging out with them. I love talking to people and just relaxing and being myself. And when I was Godzilla Mecha and Rage Your Machine Mecha, it was very, you know, I couldn't really talk.
You didn't talk.
For a long time, I didn't talk. That was the thing.
People listening to this now know you can talk.
I can. I don't like my voice. My voice doesn't really match
you're
my
a hell of
body.
an interview, man.
Thank you. But
we've been going 40 minutes. I'm supposed to have you for 10.
Oh, wow.
So I'm enjoying it.
That's a long time. But
Yeah.
I'm very much enjoying it. So yeah, it was a new experience, and that's kind of getting back to me and Biggs teaching each other. He kind of taught me how to be a babyface because he's so good. He's got so much fire and so much energy, and relaxed energy too. Like it's not, you can tell with him it's not forced. And whenever I tried, it felt forced, and the crowd picked up on it. So I'm like, I'm gonna ride Biggs's coattails all the way to getting over.
Yeah.
And Biggs in return, I'm going to teach you how to work
Honestly,
tag matches.
Here, not to undermine Biggs, because Biggs is a hell of a worker, but it's now like you rode his coattails, and now you've kind of, in my opinion, you're neck and neck with him, if not ahead of him.
We've clicked. I don't know. I wouldn't say that, but it did not take long for us to finally catch our groove and relax. And that's the thing. We're having fun. I'm myself. Literally, if I didn't wear this mask, I would be the exact same person out there. If I had different gear, this is me. What you see in the ring is what I'm like at home.
Stupid question here. What's your favorite food?
My favorite what? Food? Oh, sandwiches. Of course.
Legit?
Duh. It's pretty great. Sandwiches are they're the go-to. Anytime.
You can eat them anywhere.
Yeah. Anytime I go out, I look at the sandwich selections.
Me too.
Even if I'm going to, a fancier, nicer restaurant, I usually end up getting like a steak or something,
Yeah.
but I always look and see if there's
a good sandwich.
Not good, but different. That's the thing. I like going to places that have different stuff. Like, oh man, I've never heard of this combination or this. I need to check it out. Everyone's got the steak and cheese. Everyone's got the
typical Italian restaurant.
They all have the same kind of sandwiches. I like going to places and finding something obscure.
What's your favorite sandwich?
I really don't have an absolute favorite. I've got several go-tos. Meatball sub go-to. The Reuben. The Reuben might be my actual favorite.
I can't stand sauerkraut.
Oh my God, I love sauerkraut. I love the Reuben. A straight up grilled cheese. I absolutely love. A steak and cheese with mushrooms. Gotta have mushrooms.
Oh man, I'm a huge mushroom mark.
I'm a huge mushroom mark.
Mushroom mark. That's a shirt.
Yeah, mushroom mark. Man. And actually, it's one I kind of invented myself. I'm sure I didn't invent it. Toast, mayonnaise, tomato, salt, Swiss cheese, bacon. No pepper, just salt. Pepper. Just salt on the tomato, Swiss cheese and bacon, open face.
Were you raised here in the South?
I was.
Okay, so you know about the old tomato sandwich, just tomato, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and bread.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty.
Man.
I upped it with a slice of Swiss cheese and some bacon on it, and open face. That's the only sandwich I will eat open face. I don't know why.
I'll follow. Well, speaking of open face, I follow Vern Troyer here on YouTube.
Okay.
Mini-Me.
Yeah.
And he made a sandwich on his YouTube channel that I was like, no way, this is gonna taste good. It's an open face toast, peanut butter and jelly. And he puts an over easy egg, like chopped up on top of it.
No,
and
I bet that's good.
I'm sitting there going, all right, I would change it to strawberry jelly because I hate grape.
Yeah.
And I made it one day. It's the best fucking thing you ever gonna have for breakfast.
No, I would totally eat that because I used to put peanut butter on my omelets growing up. So
really?
Peanut butter and eggs for me is like a weird.
I used to work at a Subway. It was really my first stable job. I worked there for about 4 years. We had the manager of the store would come in there and take the tuna. And she had her own jar of peanut butter in the back and put peanut butter on a tuna fish sandwich. And that was nasty.
No, I'm not. Nope, don't support that one. I'm sure good for her, but no, I don't recommend that, guys.
She would sit there and just chow down on them. She would use her employee meal to make this sandwich. And I'm sitting there going, no way. Here I am, like, thinking about what sandwich I'm going to make today, and then I see her make this, and I'm like, I'm not even hungry anymore.
No.
What's your least favorite food? What's the thing you will not touch?
I'm a big fan of just trying new things.
Me too.
So it's rare that someone, if someone presented me something obscure, like,
You ever had snails?
Never had snails, but if someone presented it to me, I would be intrigued, and I would probably do it.
Most restaurants cover them in so much garlic butter that it just tastes like a slimy piece of garlic.
Nice.
But it's good. I love garlic.
I don't really have a least favorite. I'm not big on lima beans. I know there's stuff I won't eat.
You're not a fan of whatever was in that bottle.
Whatever liquid that was. No, I don't drink, so I'm definitely not a fan of that.
Neither do I.
Oh man, I know there's a food that I'm like, this is what I don't do. I can't think of it right now. There's so many I do like, honestly, which is really cool that I can bring this out as part of my gimmick, because this is me. Like pro wrestling is so many, like, okay, you're gonna be the ringmaster. Okay, you're gonna be the clown. Okay, you're gonna be the military guy. It's so much. You're going to be this, and you get to a point eventually where it's just like, you can be yourself.
I gotta be me.
Yeah. I feel like this version of Mecha is me. I'm most relaxed
and
with
I get
myself.
That.
I'm most relaxed with myself. I'm finally comfortable with my work. I know what I can do. I know what works. And, it's easy to do. And I can relax and have fun. I'm finally having so much fun.
Somebody on the panel just brought up the Dawsons. Those two are some heavy-hitting dudes.
Yes, they are.
They're pretty stiff. You can tell they're pretty stiff. I mean,
it depends.
some of the stuff they do looks stiff as shit.
That's the way it's supposed to.
That's
It's
the way
supposed to look stiff.
So what's it like working with them tonight? You got the rematch with them.
It's really cool.
The way you're over and they're so hated, that dichotomy works.
This is a fantastic. I'm so excited for this match tonight. I love working with the Dawsons. They're really good dudes. They are. I'm just gonna say it. They're the best tag team not signed in the whole country. They're so good.
They're not even regulars here. It's a special thing when they show up.
Right, as it should be. They really don't. They don't travel much. They're within North Carolina. Maybe Virginia and South Carolina, but they're pretty much Mid-Atlantic wrestlers.
I think
they're so good.
They've worked Nova a couple times, haven't they?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think they've never worked Nova.
I don't think I've ever seen them in Virginia. This is the only and I think they work for Carino. I think so. That I gotta get out there.
They're East Coast, so they kind of work the East Coast part of North Carolina. But yeah, they're so good. I love working with them. We always have fun. They're so professional. I've known them for about 5 years now. First time I met them, I teamed with them, actually. It was me, the Dawsons, against Chiva Kid, Andrew Everett, Kamikaze Kid, and Hurricane Shane Helms.
That's a hell of a match.
That was our superhero match for Battlecade.
What's Battlecade? Because now I got to go look that up.
I don't remember. 2012, I think.
I got to go look that up now.
I think it was 2012.
And see, that's the disadvantage I have, is that I hate going back sometimes and watching old wrestling.
Yeah.
The network stuff, I don't think, my old co-host of this, Jeff Edwards, is like, you need to go back and watch WCW, the studio shows and shit. And I'm just like, I don't have the patience or the time to sit there and watch it. It's much like the worldwide stuff. But now that you mentioned that, I think the guy who is here from Minnesota, brung up the Brad, that while you may not want it up there, you make hints at it on commentary, you make hints at it here on this interview that make me want to go back and watch it. And I wish they could do it episodic. I'm totally with Brad on that.
I agree.
I want to go back now and watch that one match.
Right. Well, especially too, even for someone like me, CWF has a long history before I was here.
Yeah.
I've only been here. I debuted in 2010, so I've only been here 7 years.
I was going to say that they got 10 years on you.
Yeah, CWF's been around for 10 years before I even showed up. So there's a ton of history I don't know about. Talking with some of the guys, and I hear stories. I hear about guys like, who was that? What match was this? And then they're, oh man, you haven't seen this? Like the infamous Osiris ladder match. I never heard of it until someone tweeted about it. I'm like, wait.
It was me. I tweeted out that question going, okay, I know they've done cage matches. I know they've done war games. I know they've done Royal Rumble. Have they done a ladder match in that building? Because I see the rafters above.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect building for a ladder match. Have they ever done one? And then the Crispy Lettuce on Twitter tweeted out that GIF, and I'm just like, this should have the Benny Hill theme behind it.
Yep. I saw that match for the first time earlier this year, and I was just like, I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen it, and that's part of my history. Like, I know Osiris. I've worked with Osiris, and it's cool for me to be able to go back sometimes. You know, I if it was episodic, I would be more inclined to sit and watch some stuff. Like, but you know,
I think the worldwide era has spoiled us.
a little bit, yeah, because you get it every week, every Wednesday at 9 on the YouTube channel, and available for download after. But yeah, history is a big part of wrestling, and I pride CWF on remembering things. You know,
most indie promotions out there. In fact, I don't think, besides CWF, now it's more common, but prior to the last couple years, most indie promotions didn't even have a freaking camera at ringside filming it. I'm just like, that's one of the things that attracts me to this place is because you go to Hillbilly Hideaway's wrestling show, and they're like, we're going to put on the wrestling, and then you go back the next week, and it's like, well, aren't you going to capitalize on what happened last week? And no, we're just going to have an entirely different group of guys.
Yep, and we
it's so much different.
We pride ourselves on remembering the past too, and bringing it up in future storytelling. When Biggs broke when Biggs broke in, I was his first match.
Really?
Yes, I was Aaron Biggs' first match. But
so it's come full circle.
Exactly.
That's nice.
But it's so long ago. The Worldwide era. Worldwide had already. When Worldwide started, I was hurt. I was on the shelf.
Man.
So I debuted that Battlecade to McAllister, and some people didn't know the history of me and McAllister, so they were kind of.
I didn't.
You're right. A lot of people didn't, which is kind of cool. I hope a lot of people listen to this because me and Michael have talked about this. Like, man, they're into they want to know. Every time we were in that ring together, we had to tease something. We had to tell. We had to just draw interest because we can't tell our story, but we can create interest in people wanting to go, hopefully go back and hear it and look at it. And the same thing with Biggs. Like, we ended up being partners, but it was 3 years prior, we were beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
most great tag teams start off that way.
Yeah, but 3 years later, some promoter just like, oh, he found a tag partner who's 400 pounds just like him, and they're friends, and blah, blah, blah. No, like
Earthquake and Typhoon.
Yeah,
you know?
For us, it was kind of like the first time we did it, we shook hands like, are we good? We can do this? We're on the same page? Yeah. And that's how it started. That's how it should be.
That's another thing that people don't realize is that you may be under a mask, but you share a ton of fucking emotion in that ring facially.
I try.
You succeed. I mean, there is, honestly, there's not that many people under, like I was going back to before with Lucha and everything. They're under a mask, and it's almost like they're stone-faced.
It helps that I have an open face, too.
Yes.
Because I've always had this beard. Mm-hmm. So when we were designing the mask, we're like, you got to have open face because I can't tuck it. I'm not shaving it.
Yeah.
And it creates a unique look.
I was going to say, I would much rather see you in like a beard versus, like hair versus hair match than a hair versus mask match.
Oh, man, yeah. I
can't imagine you babyface, man. I really can't.
Yeah, it's pretty weird seeing me all clean shaven and junk. When I had to shave it off for my surgery, and it was weird.
Wait, okay. You had to shave the beard off to have shoulder surgery? That's weird.
Because the anesthesiologist
couldn't put the mask over it?
They're like, man. The mask and the tube down your throat may not stick to your face properly with all that facial hair. Yeah, breathing tube, because, you know, I'm having surgery, so I got to be...
I've never had surgery before. Most I've had is my tonsils taken out.
They put me under and then tube down my throat and mask on my face and whatever they need to do. They're like, it may not stick well with all that facial hair. We recommend you get rid of it. I'm like, oh, I haven't shaved this off in 10 years. Like, it was we did a thing in the ring actually because I had done like 2 spots before my surgery. One here and one somewhere else. Just like I got to commit to this one date. I need to do it. I shouldn't have. And then I'm like, hey Brad, they're telling me I got to shave my beard. I think we need to do something. Like, it's one of those things you got to do something with it. Yeah. So an opportunity has presented itself.
That's very Jim Cornette of you.
Yeah. Like, what can we do?
Make money.
What do you need? And just coming forward too, because like, man, if it's gone, I don't know if it's coming back. Like, I don't know what we're. So I told him about it, and we came up with it. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was a match. It was me and McAllister. It was the last time we teamed against Rob McBride and Aaron Biggs. We had our match. It was just a fun, big guy brawl, fighting, beating the hell out of each other all over the ring, and they pinned McAllister, I think, and we're beating up Biggs and beating up McBride. and we decide we find a pair of scissors and we're going to cut off McBride's beard as a tribute to Corey Edsel.
Oh my God.
Because Corey and Rob are starting something. So yeah, Corey, man, we're going to cut off his beard for you. You know, they turned the tides, and they
Turned on you and cut off your beard.
They turned
What
the
a hell of a
tides.
way to turn.
Yep, Biggs got up and beat me up, and yeah, Biggs was holding me, and yeah, goddamn, he was holding me. He was holding my head. He was holding me back, holding my head up, had my arms behind my head, and Rob McBride just cut it off. And oh my God, if you watch it back, the emotion in my face and the guttural scream, I'm cursing because it was. This is a security blanket too. Like, I literally hadn't cut it in 10 years, and then they cut it off. Oh my God, this is so weird. And then like,
I just lost 3 pounds.
yeah, it was so weird. It was weird feeling. It looked weird, and and then, pretty much as soon as the surgery was over, started growing it back. So I've always had it. I trim it up, but yeah, it's such a part of my life.
Smith Garrett and Michael McAllister. Speaking
Hi,
of Michael
buddies.
McAllister, have joined us.
We've been talking for a long time. Do we
We've
need to
been
give
doing
somebody
almost
else
an
a turn?
hour. Yeah,
Oh, man.
let's wrap it up here. I want to thank
Okay.
you so much for coming on.
Thank you, man.
This is an episode in and of itself.
Awesome.
So-
I get my own episode. Woo!
Mecha Mercenary, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with more from FanCon.